Mohammad Safa. This is the name of a man who has been screaming out loud and saying that UN is actually working and joining hands with US and Israel to bombard the entire Iran with nuclear weapon. Yes, now according to this man, Iran is going to have its first nuclear bombing. And I'm not kidding. This man has said that I am leaving my diplomatic position at the UN to let you know that UN is actually preparing for a Iran which will look after these nuclear attacking and all of that. So basically UN has been planning for all of that, and he has been coming up with a very sentimental letter where he has written that there are almost 1,000 people, sorry, there are almost 1 crore people in the entire Iran. There are animals and infrastructure, there are small children, kids, senior citizens, women, and so many things. And now if US and Israel is going to do that to our country, they can do it to any other country in the entire world. This is the, this is the highness kind of a thing. This is the dictatorship. This is the fascist nature what US President Donald Trump is showing up right now. This entire war started with the nuclear problem, and now it seems like this entire war will end with the nuclear problem. And I'm not saying this because this man has been claiming all of that, but there are speculation and there are data which are actually leading us to this entire thing. So basically, yesterday, US President Donald Trump, with the help of Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu, have actually bombarded the nuclear city of Iran. Yeah, that's named as Isfahan. Yes, this place is situated in the center of Iran, and I would tell you, this place is not something you can easily get tracked with. This place has big air radar services. This place has been, covered with big and heightened security. Even after that, US has bombarded this place with a bomb known as Buster bomb. This bomb is specialized in penetrating by going deep inside the earth, and that is how they have actually bombarded the entire place. In 2025 also, US and Israel collectively worked together and actually bombarded the nuclear facilities out there in Iran, but they weren't able to get into the places of uranium and all of that. They were only being able to touch the machines which were enriching it and all of that. So it was not that of a big attack. But this time they have actually attacked in a manner that Iran right now has been shook, and more than Iran, everybody in the world has been shook. Because you need to understand this one thing: out there where these people have attacked, there is almost uranium present up to 400 kgs. Yes, that is a place where most of the nuclear bombing can take place. We all know that US has their nuclear weapon. We all know that Israel officially does not have it, but unofficially there are reports that they do have a nuclear asset and all of that, but Iran did not have it. And this whole fight started because of all of that. Because Iran has been claiming, Iran has been saying that I'm not using or enriching uranium because I want to make a nuclear weapon out of it. I am rather doing it for the infrastructure goals, for the electricity in Iran, and from different kind of development perspective. But US and Israel almost said every single time that the amount of uranium you have enriched till now, it is enough to make a nuclear weapon, and that is why you should stop using it and you should give us the entire uranium which you have enriched it till now. And not just that, US has even threatened Iran that we are going to actually take away all your uranium, and for that basis they have also sent approximately 1,000 more soldiers in Iran right now. So that is how the world is leading right now. That is how the entire place has been shook. In fact, in India also, many of the politicians out here have raised voice for the justice in Iran, and this is something we all need to take our charges with. Because you don't understand this one thing: when it comes to nuclear war, it is something, the heightened thing, it is something you can never recover, and Iran is almost our neighboring country, and because of that one nuclear bombing, the entire West Asia's entire dispute and entire trade system and all of that will be affected. When US bombarded Hiroshima and Nagasaki, we all know the kind of destruction that Japan is still facing. All those places, there are still abnormal births, there are people deaf, there are people bald, there are people with so many diseases and all of that. The entire place was never being able to born, were never really able to come up with all those things which were happening to them. And they still do it, they still can't be normal, right? And if something like this could happen and to an entire country, this is something you cannot even expect. And what are the chances that US and Israel is just doing it with Iran? Because Iran was never at of much of a bigger fault. Iran was actually just enriching uranium out there, but US bombarded it because of their doubts and because of their things. There were many ways, but US did not take it. But if US take this step, what if someday it could be India? What if someday it could be Pakistan? What if someday it could be any other Asian country or European country or any such things? Then what are we going to do? Although we are also having nuclear acid and nuclear bombing, but Iran also have the support of China and Russia, and both of these countries are having nuclear acid right now and nuclear weapon right now. But what about the destruction? What about the heightened of the war we are actually going towards, right? Because after World War II, we all decided, and specifically under the regime of UN, we all decided that we'll be having peace and all of that. But this time, because of this one madman named as Donald Trump, we're actually going towards nuclear bombing. I mean, this is something you cannot even expect. This is more than heinous and terrifying, which we can't be possibly talking about right now. So we nearly wish that US, how they are protesting for the impeachment of Donald Trump, could please take place as soon as possible, because if he comes up with nuclear bombing at Iran, it is going to be devastating. Then remember this one thing: after this entire time, Iran is not going to shut up. Iran will take much more help, and there could be another retaliatory attack on US or Israel as well. Or if not US and Israel, if they are not being able to reach up to US geographically, they are going to bombard the entire Middle East like they are doing it right now. So with one single attack and with one single rumor, the stock market, the prices have crashed, the economy will crash, and on the other hand, three subcontinents will be attacked in a manner. America will be in danger, Israel is already in the danger, the entire Middle East will be in the danger, and Iran is anyway going and going, and you cannot really expect anything out of it. So that is how all of these things are happening right now. And the things which wherein we are leading is something we need to see. That's all for today. I will let you know almost all the war updates, whichever things are happening and what is happening and what is going on. Thank you so much for watching us.